back. We're celebrating new music with the one and only Jimmy Waldo. It is Alcatraz, keyboardist, backing vocalist, writer. Jimmy, you've done, like I say, we've talked Yngwie and Graham Bonnet, the early days. We've talked Steve Vai. We've talked, of course, Danny Johnson. And there's been other eras. And you've come back after 2006, with Graham Bonnet and Howie Simon and different lineups here. Glenn Sobel. You're now back, of course, with Gary Shea, and you've got a new life here. Brave Words. Talk about the new record, Joe Stump on guitar. What is exciting about your new album?
Well, the records that we've been making with since Joe's been in the band, and we had Doogie White after Graham, so we did two albums with Doogie, um, and Joe was the guitar player. It's really cool because Joe's got that thing that Steve and Yngwie both have had, uh, is that he plays like I call it reckless abandon because Joe Joe's a Joe's an associate professor at Berkeley School of Music. Believe me, he knows what he's doing. But when he plays, he's like a wild man on he's just, and I don't mean show wise, he's not jumping around all over the place, but his playing is so aggressive. And I like that. I like aggressive playing. And Joe's got that. I mean, besides the shredding and being able to do that, which I happen to like that kind of guitar playing, but I like that aggressive playing. I don't like the real pristine um, kind of approach.
Yeah. And who
Uh,
were Joe's heroes? Who was he heavily influenced by when?
Richie Blackmore,
Okay.
Yngwie, Gary Moore.
Okay.
Um, yeah, gosh, I'm trying to think of some other people he's mentioned. I know Blackmore is a big one.
Okay.
Joe loves
That and
Richie's.
Gary Moore, that says a lot right there.
Yeah, and Joe, when he goes into the Gary Moore mode, it's amazing. I never saw Gary Moore play, but I love Gary Moore. I love his records. And
Super underrated, especially here in America.
oh my God, yeah. The people here don't even know who he was, you know. Um, but yeah, he incredible. So Joe does that kind of thing. Uh, Again, he's ripping the strings off the guitar. There's so much soul and so much feeling when he plays it. And that's what I like. You know, I just like that kind of guitar playing. And that's what Yngwie was like that. Um, Very aggressive player. And
Yeah,
and Steve was like that. And I
there's a
love
fire. There's
these
a
guys.
fire inside of him.
Yes, yes. And I love that.
Well, talk about
And
how the songs came together and how you came up with the title and all that.
um, we well, if you're talking about the records we've done,
Well, the newest one.
okay, so that's a you mean the reissue, the re-recordings, or there's a new one that we're working on now.
Okay, talk about both of those.
Okay, well the re-recordings are since Giles Lavery has been the singer, um, we kind of wanted to introduce Giles because he wasn't on anything recorded. The last album we did that Alcatraz did was with Doogie. And so, but then right away, Doogie left and we started touring with Giles. And it just went great. We toured America. We did, God, I don't know, 40, 50 shows. Um, and so Giles is kicking ass. And so we're thinking, well, shit. And then we got this Alcatraz touring coming up in November. And we're thinking, damn, nobody's will be able to hear Giles on record singing these songs because I'm listening to him sing Jet the Jet and Island in the Sun and these songs every night, and he's killing them. And I'm thinking, what a shame. So we decided to re-record uh, those songs. So we're doing a bunch off the first record, off No Parole,
Okay.
and Giles is killing it. He's he's singing that stuff. And then we do Skyfire and God Bless Video off the second record. And then Giles re-sang some of the stuff off the last couple of studio records that we did.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Replaced Doogie's voice on there. And so we'll have about I think 10, let me look at my list, 10 or 12 songs out.
Okay.
And Island in the Sun came out already. And then we'll have the rest will be coming out digitally. And then the record will come out before we go on tour, so before November. Um, and that's all re-records. And that's been fun doing. Been a lot of fun doing it. And Giles is just, he's eating it up, he's killing it. So,
It's beautiful.
and it's a real good, it's a lot of fun with Giles on the road. I mean, he's a good guy and there's no bullshit, it's just real simple. And the stage
He's
show,
creative and he's a businessman. I
he's
understand.
real creative and he's been our manager for a long time. So, um, but he live, the show goes so much smoother and faster. There's no, uh, well, less talk, more rock, and that's what we're doing now. And which I really like. The show moves way better pace to everything with Giles.
Yes.
Um, he's not doing a lot of talking, and it's great. We just get on with it. It's all about the music. So and it's just easy with him. It's really easy. The guy sings his ass off, and he's a great guy, and we have fun on the road. And so, what's not to like, so to speak.
Sure.
And
And while that is happening, you are starting to write the next record. How
yes,
far
yeah.
along are you when you project that to be out?
Oh gosh, I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't say I won't project anything. I mean, I've got some ideas. Joe's always got lots of ideas. So Joe's been writing. Uh, Giles has written some stuff, and he and I are going to get together. I think he's going to come to Chicago, and we're going to work on those, and then I'll get together with Joe and work on his stuff. And so once we get in that mode, uh, it won't take long, a month or two, and we'll get done. But we've got, Giles and I are working Warlord, so we got Warlord dates coming up this month, and then again in August or September. So we're busy, but we're writing for Alcatraz in the meantime,
Yeah. Well, it's
and then we got
crazy
the
because I was around that era when you started Alcatraz coming out of New England, and I was there when Bill and Mark started Warlord right up the street here in North Hollywood. So
right.
it's interesting to see these brands or bands continue and evolve and different players, different eras. But in these days, you almost have to have multiple projects, different irons in the fire to,
Yes,
make it all work.
you really do, and it took me a minute to understand that. And I mean, I got that 5 years ago. I understood that. uh, I could see bands, different people in different bands that have different projects. They have one projects that's their main thing, which Alcatraz is for me
Right.
and Giles. But Warlord comes with Giles did records and sang and toured with Warlord, so it was a natural thing. And then Mark Zonder and I worked together on a Graham Bonnet record. And so I got to know Mark and loved his drumming. And then he had to leave the Graham Bonnet band. But then he brought me in. I hired him and he played on a record for me. And then he brought me in to the Warlord thing. And we did that. We did the Warlord record, a new record, which was based around a lot of Bill's uh, demos. And
Right.
Giles had all those and knew Bill well. I never knew Bill, unfortunately. Um, but Zonder brought me into that, and then and Giles and I worked on that with Mark and put that together. And that record came out and did pretty well. And then we've gone on to tour with it. So um, it's called making a living as a musician, you know? um,
Yeah, I mean, you're doing what you love to do, but
yeah.
sometimes you got to kind of pivot and
Yeah, and
work it.
I like working with those guys. The guitar players, Diego and Eric, are just they're not only are they great musicians, great guitar players, but they're good guys. They're really good people. And Philip Bino doesn't get any better than that as far as bass and a nicer person. So I love working with Philip. And so Philip and Mark have played for so long together. So as a rhythm section, it's like one person. So I love playing with. It's fun to play with those guys, you know. And Mark is a great guy and a great drummer and solid as a rock. Live, I mean, it's just like he counts it off and it's a machine. So
Well, you played with a lot of great players, you know, the Yngwies, the Vinnie Vincent and different stuff, but you realize not only do you got to be a great player, you got to be easy to deal with, easy
you,
going to travel with.
boy, you really do. You know, and if I was gonna give advice to a young player that's trying to get out there and do something, that's a major thing is you've got to be a good person and you've got to learn how to work with different situations and different people and things aren't always going to go your way and it may take 2 years to work through it. It may take a month, but and you may not be thrilled about the person you're working with sometimes, but if it's like an opportunity and it's a great opportunity, then you need to be smart and step back and look at that and go, well, for the next 6 months or a year, what would be the best thing for me to do? But the key is being a smart and easy person to get along with and just be a nice person, basically. It's real simple in that respect. Um, you know,
Yeah, like they often say on projects, check your ego at the door because
you
we got
really,
work to do.
yeah, you really have to because it is work. It's, I won't say it's a business. It is a business. We all know that, but I won't say that specific, but it is work. And you can't, I don't, not in any business can you be, uh, have an ego problem with somebody and then yet still trying to get the job done. It's not, that's never going to happen. That's always going to end up in shit. You know, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's almost
Some
like a
last longer than others, but
it's
you
almost
know,
like a sports team. You know, you want to bring your A game, have all that swagger, that confidence, but also be a team player.
well, you got to have that together. Exactly.
Everybody's got to win together. You can be the MVP and the number
That's
one on the
right.
charts, but if the team loses, what does it matter?
That's exactly right. And so that's something for younger musicians. And I know I've worked with a lot of young bands, producing just some young bands, nobody's heard of, but uh, and some of these guys have these huge egos, or they think they have a huge ego. They're trying to come off like they're something they're not. And I've told them, I said, you know, because we'd be in the studio and they would show up earlier and the drummer's not there, the singer's not there, and they're talking shit about him. And I go, you know, you guys are never going to do anything as long as you got problems with each other. Because
Well, I often see these bands opening at the Whiskey. You know, they got one headliner and there's five or six openers. And these
yeah,
openers come in there like, yeah, man, we're playing the Whiskey. We're world famous. And
yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude, you paid money to get on this stage
yeah, exactly.
to waste time and serve alcohol and hopes that people stick around, for the headliner. And
Yeah.
it's like, man, how are you going to go anywhere with that attitude?
Yeah. And and the rehearsal thing, I worked with a band and we were supposed to be doing pre-production and I showed up at 8 o'clock because they all work jobs and that's fine, and they were going to be there, going to rehearse at 8 o'clock. And I went over to do pre-production and these guys didn't show up till 10 o'clock. And I'm sitting there with the manager and I'm getting ready to leave. And the drummer shows up with the bass player and they had a bunch of beer. And they apologized because they had to go way out of their way to a liquor store. Their favorite liquor store was closed, so they had to go somewhere to get booze. And I just told them, I said, how many days a week do you rehearse? They said 2. And I said, you're never going to do anything rehearsing 2 days a week for 2 hours a day and drinking while you're rehearsing. I said, so you're wasting your time. And they got mad at me. I said, I'm telling you, I'm just telling you like it is. You're wasting your time. You got to
You, you,
rehearse.
you could write five,
Alcatraz,
you could write 5 books with all the experience you have.
oh my God. New England, we rehearsed 6 days a week minimum and serious rehearsals. I mean,
Yeah.
we had our own place, so it was
It,
loose
it,
in that
it's like
respect.
you're doing the live show every rehearsal.
Oh, yeah. Ultimately, I mean, work on songs, but then we'd run the set,
Yeah.
you know, uh, especially as we got close to showcasing for people, we were really on it. And Alcatraz, the same thing. We worked our ass off, rehearsed a lot. And that's with paying for rehearsals in LA, as you know, that's not cheap. And so, but yeah, we rehearsed a lot, put a lot of time, and then you go home and you practice and you write. So it's a full time, it's 7 days a week. I mean, now I work 7 days a week. And
Every day is a work day.
well, it is. And if my wife says, well, we're going up to our stepmom's for lunch on Sunday, then that's fine. I'll get up early and maybe I'll run the Warlord set and then we go to lunch and then I'm gone the rest of the day. And that's family. That's okay. But yeah, it's a full-time job, that's for sure.
Well, we're so excited about, the redos, the remakes, the new music, the touring. Where are these dates going to take you?
We start in Scandinavia and Norway, Finland, and Sweden. Actually, they have first shows in Sweden, and then we come down to Germany and Belgium, maybe Holland, uh, but basically Europe. We come from Scandinavia down to Europe, parts of Europe. About 2.5 weeks, I think, with Girls School and David Reese. Um, so that'll be fun. Those are all good people. So we've toured with Girls School a lot.
Yeah.
Those girls, it doesn't get any nicer than that, any better.
Oh, sure.
Nicer people, more professional. They're just fun to hang out with, and they play their ass off, and they've a great following. So we get a good crowd. And David Reese is great. I love the guy. I did a record with him. He's a great guy, great singer. So I know his band is going to be really good, and that'll be fun.
Well,
So that's going to be a fun. I'm looking
yeah.
forward to that.
So much of this is these multi-act packages. I know Steve plays some Lillian acts, and he did all that with
Yep,
House and Girl School and all that stuff. And you just package it up and get it
yep.
out there, and everybody delivers. Everybody supports each other, and
That's
everybody
it.
wants to win.
And again, the key thing is like with Lillian X, all those guys are great guys. Steve is a great guy. And so we all got along really well on the road, but we all supported each other. Everybody's humping gear, everybody's helping load the truck if necessary, whatever it needs to be, everybody chips in. And so that's what it's got to be. And that's a big check your ego at the door when you're touring with other people. If it's your own tour, yeah, you get a little slack here and there, but when you're working with other people like that, and you're the middle bill, whatever, it's you really got to be on your game personally and have it together about your ego and be respectful of all the people you're working with, the crew, the other bands, whoever. It's not about you.
Well, we're super excited. We can't thank you enough. Encourage everyone to go to alcatrazofficial.com for all the tour dates,
Yes.
updates on music, merchandise, and more. Oh man,
Yes.
Jimmy, it's a real pleasure. Like I say, we go back to the 70s, the old
Yeah.
mess. It's like I
Wow.
interview Stuart Copeland from the Police. Every time I talk to him, I say, Stuart, it's 45 years now going on 50. And he's like, yeah, man, I can't believe it. He laughs.
It is. It is unbelievable, but time marches on, so to speak. And I just get up in the morning and I do what I do. I don't think about it. I don't stress out about it or how old I am or how old I'm not or what I wish I was or
Yeah, you
a
just,
lot of guys I know get bummed out about the business. Oh, the business has changed and all that stuff. Well, it is what it is.
yeah,
And if you don't like the heat, get out of the kitchen.
yeah. There's one highway, so
Yeah,
you can't get there without driving somehow. So just
exactly.
make it work.
Right.
But Jimmy, always a pleasure.
Well,
Can't wait
thank
to
you.
follow your course. Hopefully, you can link us up with Gary and we can fill in some of these gaps. And wow,
Yeah.
Alcatraz lives, man. We've
Yeah.
been
And
there
Gary
for
would love to talk to you. So
well,
please.
fantastic. We're going to make that
Uh,
happen. Until we speak
okay.
again, Jimmy.
Cool.
Best of
All
luck
right.
with
Thank you.
Alcatraz, and please keep rocking.
All right. You too. Thank you very much.